I'm Devo Brown. Nice to see you. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for waking up with BT. We live in a culture now obsessed with productivity. We use acronyms at work and at home, and we often mistake brevity for clarity and think we say what we mean when we actually don't. Leadership expert Kendra Reddy is back with her tips on how to use language to our advantage. Welcome back. Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Sorry is something that people use right away, but let's get into some of the tips that you have, and you say just a little shift in some of the words and statements that we use can go a long way.
Yeah. I think it's so important for us to be intentional with our language because that's one of the ways we create connection in healthy relationships. And leadership is all about relationships, right? It's the quality of our interactions that leads to great results, not productivity and task focus. But we're in such this rush to get to action that we don't often really stop and check in with each other. Not just, did you hear me, but do we have a shared understanding? Are we aligned? Trust is won and lost in the listening, but as humans, we're wired to listen at this like me level. Yeah. How do I feel? What do I want? What's my point of view? And that frequency takes us out of connection and it puts us into binary thinking. So all of a sudden it's yes, no, in, out, right or wrong, instead of being in connection with each other. Most conversations, especially at work, happen to be two of these sort of me-level questions that are conversations that happen across paths.
Well, when you said conversations, that's a key to make it a conversation,
exactly.
Right? So you have some scenarios for us. Let's run through them. What do you got?
Okay, well, let's start with sorry, because that's so common, especially for Canadians.
Yeah. We
over-apologize as if mistakes and errors are character flaws. Like, we're not perfect, so we're a bad person. That diminishes, apologizing diminishes you, our relationship, and the apology itself. So here's a couple. Instead of, sorry I'm late, try thanks for your patience. Instead of, sorry I made a mistake, say, hey, great catch, I'm gonna fix that right now. Instead of, sorry to bother you, try, hey, do you have a few minutes to help me? Because I could really use your insights.
Those are good. Those are good.
Thank you.
But sometimes the apology is necessary.
Absolutely.
Right? So you're not taking away from that, just shifting the convo, as you mentioned.
The other thing, too, you can just say, I'm sorry, and then shut up. Let it land.
Less is more sometimes. There you go. What about scenarios we might find ourselves in our personal lives with our partners?
Yeah. I think sometimes it's easier to be complaining and blaming than it is to be vulnerable and make a direct ask, especially when things are heated and it feels like we're not getting anywhere. So what you're really trying to do is dial it down, because if you meet heat with heat, you're throwing gas on the fire. Yeah. So we want to, again, bring it back to neutral. Instead of, you're not listening to me, or let's just agree to disagree, try a do-over. Hey, this feels awful. Can we start again and really listen to each other? Or I don't need you to see this exactly the way I do, but I do need you to understand like where I'm coming from.
These are good. In relationships, take note, friends, because you want to slow down on some of those arguments. This will help communication a lot better in those relationships. One that I've heard a lot is, can I be honest with you?
Which implies that you're not honest by default.
Right.
So what I think we're really trying to ask is, how honest can I be? Or are you open to some feedback right now?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
These are so good. Where can people get more information?
You can follow me online. I'm at Kendra Reddy. I have a lot more long-form content on this. You can also go to my website, kendrareddy.com, and buy my book that's coming out soon.
There we go. I was going to say, sorry, we're out of time, but...
Don't apologize.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here.
That. No, thank you for being here. We appreciate all of that.